Morning, Rob. How we doing today?
I'm well. I hope you are too. Congratulations to you and your guys. A 31-24 win over William& Mary. You guys come back from 17-14 down at the half to get that win. What did you like the most about the way your team played?
Yeah, I thought our guys, as I've been saying most of the year, played hard, showed great effort, showed some resilience. We had a game, as you said, we were down by three at halftime. It was one of those back and forth games where, both teams moved the ball a little bit. And, I'd like us to see a play. I'd like to see us play a little cleaner. We still had too many penalties that either stopped a couple of our drives or allowed William& Mary to sustain a few of their drives, especially early on in the game. And then we had that big kickoff return. I know Jabril was the special teams player of the week, which is awesome to see for him and obviously for our program. But 100-yard return, that was seemed like the spark we needed to, I don't want to say wake up, but it definitely electrified the sideline and brought a little more energy and a little more emotion to the sideline and to the crowd. And like I said, I think that was really the kickstart that we needed to, maybe play a little better in the second half. Not that we were playing poorly in the first half, but we just weren't playing super clean. And, I told the guys at halftime, make them earn everything as opposed to, helping them with, some foolish penalties. And no disrespect to their program because they did earn a lot of the things that they did get, especially in that first half. But I think that kickoff return really sparked us and got us going in the right direction. So that was very good to see for Jabril. And, then we're able to have a good balance of run and pass. I think we had better balance this week with run and pass. David had 3 touchdowns again and went over 120 plus 130 yards rushing. So that was good to see. Ragland shared the carries and, he also had a good game running the football and our guys up front. They'll be the first ones to tell you whether it's David or Isaiah or whether it's even Jabril when he gets his carries on offense. They'll be the first ones to tell you that it all starts up front. So we had good blocking bar, our O-line, tight ends, and obviously our perimeter players when you get out in the open. And then defensively, we really did stop the run pretty well. Their quarterback was their leading rusher, but they weren't all designed run plays. He's a really good athlete. And, some of them were, pass attempts that he ended up scrambling on and, getting big chunk plays, 16 yards, 15 yards on a scramble play. So from stopping the run perspective, at least the design run, we did a pretty good job there. We just got to do a little better job playing the ball down the field when it's in the air. They came down with their receivers made some really nice contested catches on us. And like I said, their quarterback hurt us a little bit with his scramble ability, if that's a word. And, he did a good job keeping drives alive, converting third down with his legs, as well as making plays down the field in the passing game. So got to do a better job on third down and need to minimize the penalties. We had 11 to their 3. And some of them, they're going to happen. There's going to be a hold. There's going to be a pass interference. But we got to stop the false starts and the defensive offsides because those are, like I said, drive killers for us or drive sustainers for our opponent. We got to play more. We got to play smarter. We're playing hard. We just got to play smarter.
We're with Villanova head coach Mark Ferrante. If you have a question for him, just use the chat feature or raise your hand. Icon, you touched on, I just want to go back and talk a little bit about Jabril. He's kind of the number 3 guy in what is a deep stable of running backs that you have. But getting the opportunity to be a kickoff return, that's certainly a skill set that takes something special. What does he do so well back there?
Well, he hits it hard. He makes a decision and goes. And when he makes the right decision and there's some good blocking in front of him, he has a chance to take it the distance because he does have some really good speed. And he's not real big, compared to a couple of our other running backs, but he's strong. If you go pound for pound in the weight room, he's probably one of our strongest guys. So he can run it between the tackles and he can get out. And when he gets out in the open, he can take it the distance as we saw on that return. So, and he's a great teammate. He could be, a guy that, as you mentioned, he's third kind of on the depth chart. We rotate guys through and, he'll get some opportunities, but I'm sure just like anybody who's in his position, he would like more opportunities. And so some of his extra or added opportunities are happening in special teams, and he's all for it, and he's excited to do it. So he did a great job hitting that with speed, and there was some good blocking in front of him. And he ran through the smoke, as we like to call it, because it's never going to be super clean on kickoff. There's a seam, and if you don't hit it quick enough or don't hit it fast enough, it closes pretty quickly. And he got through there, and then he was able to use his speed, get to the outside, and the kicker had a little bit of an angle on him, but he was able to reduce that angle and get around him toward the sideline and take it the distance. So real happy for Jabril because he's a very unselfish player because all those guys are the same class. David didn't redshirt, and Raglan and Jabril did. So technically, all three of them are sophomores right now, and they're very unselfish, which is what you need when you have a room like that.
Question for you from Griffin Floyd. Good morning, Griffin.
Hey, guys. Mark, I'm curious what more you would like to see from your offense as they continue to settle in this season. Room for improvement or anything like that. Could you hear me?
Yeah, Mark, for some reason you're on me. It doesn't show on mute, but I lost you first. Well,
You got me?
yeah, now we got you. Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It didn't
I don't know what
say
happened either. Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to your question, Griffin, basically we'd like to continue what we were able to do or see up here to do this past weekend. We want to obviously have balance. We want to be able to run the ball and pass the ball effectively when we need to. We rarely want to have more pass attempts than rushing attempts, which happened to us the week before. So if we can continue to move the sticks, not get behind the chains, that happened to us a little bit, whether it be a false start penalty making first or second down, first and 15 or second and 15. We want to be able to, have a nice first down play where you're gaining at least 4 yards. So you're on schedule with second and 6 or less. And, we got to convert on third down and compete and convert on third down, which we did a better job this week, staying on the field and moving the sticks. But, when you get yourselves in third and 11s and third and 12s, that makes it a little more challenging. So continue to do what we did this past weekend, build upon that, and hang on to the football. We didn't have any turnovers, and that's always going to be the key as well. So try to take care of the football and have a balanced attack, run and pass.
Mark, I want to just touch on your defense real quick before we look ahead. Jane Hartzell, also a huge game. Everybody in the league knows what kind of player he is, but 10 tackles, 4 of them for loss, and a couple of sacks. Just talk about the performance he had.
Yeah, Shane's played a lot of football for us. As you know, Rob, he's led our team in tackles for the last 2 years. He's leading our team in tackles right now. And he's just a really good linebacker. He can slip blocks. He can take blocks on and then shed blocks. And he can identify what's happening and shoot those gaps to maybe get those TFLs. Obviously, the sacks, we're usually sending him on a blitz when he gets those. So, and he does a good job. He's pretty good athlete. He did miss the quarterback once, which I'm sure he'd like to have that play back. That was one of, their QB's, I think, 16-yard gains on third down. But Shane's just a really good linebacker and a really good football player. So we're happy that he's on our side because he's our captain. Like I said, leading tackler, been doing it for a long time. And he just understands, through his film study, he could probably narrow things down once he sees the formation they're into, 1 or 2 things that might be coming at him as opposed to trying to defend the whole playbook every single play.
Let's look ahead to Saturday. Obviously, a big game. As always, when you head to New Hampshire, never easy. What are some of the challenges the Wildcats present?
Yeah, they're always going to be physical. Coach Santos and his staff up there, they're always going to, play hard. They always have we're tougher than you mentality. They have good size on both sides of the ball, inside, especially on defense. Their edges lately have been those more athletic guys. Their defensive ends have been really good as of late. And these 2 guys I'm seeing on film, even though they graduated a couple really good ones, look like they're right in that same athletic mode mindset where they can get off the edge and, get to the quarterback and try to sack the quarterback. I think they're second or third in the conference in number of sacks they've gotten. And linebackers are young, but they're flying to the football and they're playing good defense. I think they're number one in the conference in against the scoring as well, scoring defense. So, they're playing really hard, really physical, which they always do. And then on offense, it looks like they're trying to do the same thing that I just mentioned that we want to try to do, have a balanced attack. They're going to try to run the ball effectively. They're going to throw the ball, but they don't throw it a ton, but they do hang on to the football. I think they're first or second in time of possession as well. So if you're hanging on to the ball and you're keeping the other team out of the end zone and giving up fewer points, that sounds like a pretty good formula to me. So, but Ricky does a great job up there with his staff. He's been there, obviously played there, been there a long time. So you know what you're going to get with them as far as the toughness, typical CAA opponent. Our league's just always going to be that way. But when you go up to New Hampshire, they always try to impose their will on you, maybe just a little more than some others. And we just got to win on the road. We got to be able to, get on the plane, get up there and perform away from home. We've been doing pretty good at home, so we got to be able to play well enough to win some games on the road. And that's hard to do in this league.
All right, Mark, thanks so much for the time this morning. Safe travels to